it's crunch time here on The Jump. Hey, world, the Wizards finally won a basketball game. They beat the Celtics 96-90 in their final game before exiting the bubble. Hey, they didn't go 0-8, Zach. Did Washington gain anything by playing in this restart?
Yeah, look, Washington, jokes aside, they played hard with a limited roster, but they played hard. Most of their young players, other than Rui Hachimura, who was shaky, showed some progress. Troy Brown Jr. got to handle the ball. Thomas Bryant's defense was a little better. Jerome Robinson got some reps. Like, the Wizards got something out of it. Give the Wizards a little love.
Listen, the last time I checked, the Wizards head coach was named Scott Brooks. NBA champion 1994, Clutch City. Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion. You think he was leaving out of that bubble without winning the game? Please. Scott Brooks got too much pride. He was going to get him one.
I kind of did think that, Perk.
I'm happy they got one. I'm not sure Scotty could have forced it that way, but who knows? All right, let's talk about the other side of that game. The Celtics have extended head coach Brad Stevens. We don't have the details yet, but Stevens is in his 7th season with Boston. He is already 4th on the Celtics all-time wins list. Kendrick, this is a no-brainer for your old club, right?
Absolutely. I was wondering what took Danny Ainge and Whit Grousbeck so long to extend him. Listen, Brad Stevens is not a senior citizen. He is 43 years old. He's a young stud. He has exceeded expectations in my eyes as a young coach over this Celtic franchise, and now they have him long-term where he could grow with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Great move by the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I've lost track of how many contract extensions they gave Brad Stevens at this point. This is like the 3rd or 4th one. He might be under contract through like 2030, but he's a great coach. They have a philosophy every year. It's very clear how they want to play, what their style is going to be, and he can adapt it when the personnel changes. All they do is win, and he's got a chance to have this job for as long as Greg Popovich has had the Spurs job, essentially for his working life if he wants it, which is incredibly rare.
Yeah, I mean, look, he is already 4th on the all-times win list, so he is going to keep climbing there. You know, Red Auerbach is, of course, the holy grail on that list, but Brad is so young, and it does seem like he's going to have this job for a long time. He could end up being #1 on that list, passing Red someday, so we will watch and see. Congratulations to him and the team. Let's switch over to the Pelicans because Zion Williamson spoke to the media today, wrapping up his rookie season. He said he needs to, quote, work on getting my body where it needs to be. So, Zach, what do you think that means? Where does Zion need to be at the start of next season? Which is complicated because we don't know when the start of next season is going to be.
Well, his conditioning clearly was not there. Obviously, there were extenuating circumstances, but he looked slow and like he was running in cement on defense, which is weird because on offense, he gets to the rim before you even blink an eye. But the conditioning just wasn't there, and I don't know if that's weight, working out more, whatever it is, but it just needs to be better.
Zach, don't sugarcoat it. Listen, I think that picture before the bubble was photoshopped or something because Zion did not look anything close to that picture, Rachel. I'm sorry. Listen, Zion, the future is bright, right? But he has to at least lose 30 to 35 pounds.
That much?
He looks
that
too,
much?
Yes, he looks too heavy. I watched him run up and down the court. He wasn't moving gracefully. He couldn't guard, and he really didn't play well in the bubble. Yes, he had some good numbers, but he didn't play well. He was negatives a lot in the negative plus minus department, and he just didn't look good. So I think he need to lose about 30 to 35 pounds.
Wow. I mean, look, I'm not going as far as you on the Photoshop. I'm sure that was a real picture that we saw of him when the Pelicans first got together after the shutdown. But it is confusing, right? He was talking at that time, and his coaches were talking about the fact that he was in such great shape. And then all of a sudden, I know he missed some time leaving the bubble, but to be in so much conditioning trouble that you then are on a minutes restriction and being held out, it does seem conflicting. So I hope that by the time next season starts, whenever it starts, that Zion is in whatever shape he needs to be. I don't know if I'm going 35 pounds, Perk, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, before we go, I want to discuss the one-game suspension the league handed down to Giannis Antetokounmpo for headbutting Mo Wagner on Tuesday night. Now, Giannis is going to serve his suspension tonight against the Grizzlies. The game has no bearing on Milwaukee's playoff seeding. And Perk, no one wants to see the reigning MVP miss a playoff game, except you were rather critical of Giannis's actions. Do you think a one-game suspension is fair, or did you want to see more? What did you want here?
Yes, it was unfair. Listen, Rachel, this is not MMA, right? This is basketball. You cannot be headbutting people. And by the way, Giannis got that star treatment because anybody else would have at least got 2 to 3 games, right? 1 game suspension for headbutting somebody. This is not the MMA. This is professional basketball. And so, yeah, I do not think it's fair 1 game. I think he should 1 game.
I think the precedent is usually 1 game for headbutts. I mean, there's probably been different circumstances, but I think 1 game is typical. And by the way, Giannis wasn't playing this game anyway, so it almost doesn't really even matter. He wasn't going to play, and we'll see how Memphis, obviously a must-win for Memphis, but he wasn't going to play anyway.
Well, Perk, I don't know if you're talking about what's fair and not for precedent, because in 2015, let me see if I can remember who this young man is. Oh, yes, it's Kendrick Perkins.
Uh-oh.
Who committed the headbutt and got, oh, yes, a 1-game suspension. So they just gave Giannis the same thing they gave you, Perk?
Yeah, but Rachel, what I'm telling you is my headbutt wasn't, I didn't put that into it. We just actually just kind of bumped heads. You talking about me and Tyreke Evans. I remember the game perfectly because I was trying to protest that wasn't a headbutt. I didn't deliberately throw a blow. You know, if I would have headbutted Tyreke, I would have knocked him out. You know, if I wanted to headbutt somebody. That wasn't a headbutt. And look, Rachel, you on the jump, you, Steve, and Hillary, and everybody. Y'all trying to pull up receipts on me or something? What's going on?
I'm just saying that we all have long memories, Kendrick Perkins. That's all I can say. I covered your entire career from start to finish, and my memory is long.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.